Hello and welcome to Debrief. So I just want to give a quick update today and particularly talk about an issue that I'm having and share what I plan to do to resolve that so that it may be useful for all the other folks that are watching this video. So the issue that I'm talking about is dinoflagellates. I've started noticing that uh, they kind of have inhabited the sand bed and some parts of my pump and some areas of the rockwork. I don't particularly see them on the corals yet. For example, you can see some strands right at the base of that coral, and I'm sure that is going to be irritating that coral and inhibiting growth quite a bit. So I need to do something about this, and I have plans. So let me, first talk about why I have dinoflagellates, or why I think I have dinoflagellates, and it is because my nutrients or the nitrates and phosphates, are very low. So a couple of months back, when I was back from a, an unplanned trip, where an extended unplanned trip. Um, and I wasn't able to tend to the tank for a couple of months. There was a lot of die off, and due to which there was a buildup of nitrates and phosphates. I think the nitrates were around more than 50 parts per million. Phosphates were pretty close to, I think, one. So the first things I did was to put together a plan or a program for reducing the nitrates and phosphates. So for the phosphates, I used GFO, and for nitrates and phosphates for the combined, um I used the biopellet reactor and NOPOX. Right, so I started this regime of carbon dosing. So I used to dose about 6 ml of Nopox every day for I think 7 to 8 weeks, and I also ran Tim's NP biopellets on a NIOS reactor. Right, so and I was running GFO in addition to that. So um, my phosphates came down pretty quickly. So I landed at 0.05, 0.03, 0.07 in about 2 or 3 weeks. It was my nitrates that was kind of stuck at around 25 ppm, in spite of all the carbon dosing I was doing, and and it was not because of phosphates not being there, because when I noticed the phosphates are low, I actually dose phosphates, not phosphates in terms of just phosphorus, but I started dosing NP back to balance, which has a mix of which is carbon dosing, but it does have nitrates and phosphates in it. So that kind of did bump up the phosphates when it was low, but I still couldn't manage to bring the nitrates down, and I was looking for a product that would work on just bringing the nitrates down, even when the phosphates were low, because I was worried to bump up the phosphates too high. So I chanced upon Orca Nitrogard Titanium, which claims to bring nitrates down and not affect the phosphates. So it's been, I think, 2 weeks since I've been running Orca Nitrogard, and for the past 3 days my nitrates are zero. There's no detectable nitrates, and the phosphates have been 0.01, 0.03, and thereabouts. But I'm still dosing Seachem Flourish to bump up my phosphates. So that is when I started seeing these dinos, right? So, um, and see, as you can see, these are filamentous, single-celled, um, and they have this bubble at the end. They're not very pretty looking. There's this on my sandbed. Uh, so, um, so what I plan to do now is I checked on my UV because I looked up on the forums and read up what I could, and looks like a lot of which that is being suggested, like blanking out the lights or running hydrogen peroxide, don't necessarily seem to work. Most of the time, it will work for some, but when they stop doing it, it kind of rebounds. So the couple of things that I noticed that has a higher percentage of working is running UV. So I checked my UV. I'm already running UV, and I noticed that my pump was clogged. So I've unclogged that. So I can see that it's processing a lot more water. And two, I'm going to be dosing both nitrates and phosphates and feeding heavily, and in a way to bring my nitrates to about 5 ppm and phosphates to about close to point 0.2. I want to see how much of an impact that has on other algae, which I think can be dealt with pretty easily nowadays. So and three, I plan to stop all carbon dosing. So I've removed the Nitrogard or Nitrogard titanium from the sump. I think it's done its job. So now that I have my nitrates and phosphates in balance, although both of them are pretty close to zero, I think I will be able to deal with this issue without that. And I've taken out the GFO, so no more GFO. That's been the way for about a week now. So phosphates haven't gone up by much, so that's good. And I plan to, like I said, dose nitrates and phosphates, right? So that's the plan. I think it will work. I also plan to siphon out some of the sand when I do the next water change. So I'm going to remove a lot of the sand. I was meaning to do that anyway, right? So I will get that done by this weekend. So yeah, that's the plan. I just want to give you guys a quick update. I don't plan to change my light settings. My light stays on the way it was, and I don't plan to add any chemicals to the mix, like hydrogen peroxide. And let's see how this goes. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Bye.